Okay, welcome to today's lesson about Empedocles. Empedocles came obviously after the previous two philosophers, Heraclitus and Parmenides. And you'll see now that Parmenides made a challenge to philosophers with his idea that nothing can come from nothing. And Empedocles agreed with this argument that nothing can come from nothing, and I think that perhaps you'll agree with it too. I mean, please write under the video and make a comment. Do you think it's true that nothing can come from nothing and that nothing can go to nothing as well? So Empedocles took this challenge and he accepted that as a serious argument, and he decided that this means that the four elements, which they were still using, earth, air, fire and water, he called the four elements the roots of all things. The roots of all things. And he said that these roots must be eternal. Why? Well, because nothing can come from nothing and nothing can go to nothing. So these roots can't just disappear out of existence, just as we currently think that atoms don't just disappear out of existence. And they can't just be brought into existence. How could that be? From nothing at all, from empty space. And so he considered these roots to be eternal. And I think that this idea continues into the atomists. So, in his opinion, there is no birth and death. Birth and death, okay, in our perception maybe we perceive birth and death, but really people are just made of the four elements in a certain proportion. And when these four elements, which are attracted together under one force, the force of love, when they're attracted together we have life, we have a human being. And when those roots change places and perhaps lose their attraction, they're not attracted together, they go back into fire, air, earth and water. They just change the ratios of their elements. It's not death in a strict sense. When you look at the whole of life, really things are just changing places. So this is very similar to modern atomism, the idea that really the elements, the molecules of the body, the atoms are just going into different structures, and that's what death is. It's not something which is an experience anymore. It's just a reshuffling of all the elements in a certain structure. Okay, so he believed that there were two main forces in the universe, love and strife, which basically is a bit like hate. Love is the force of attraction, and strife is a force of repulsion. Now this is very important. It seems to me that he's perhaps making a moral question out of a physical, out of something physical. He could see attraction and repulsion of the elements, the roots of all things, in the physical world, and he decided to call these two forces love and hate. He made them into kind of human emotions, perhaps. But nonetheless, you could perhaps see it as just the forces of attraction and repulsion, which again is very similar to modern atomism. We have these two forces of the electromagnetic forces holding the atom together, and they're forces of attraction and repulsion. So he made this the answer to his question, a question which had concerned Heraclitus and Parmenides and all of the previous philosophers. What's the relationship between the one and the many? Where does the many come from?